Welcome to day 3, first session. Today we are going to discuss about some condiments which are ubiquitous in nature, meaning they can be used literally in anything or everything that you can think of, especially for the food that the children like, such as tomato ketchup, mayonnaise, condensed milk, many other things. We are going to show you the recipes of this in coming videos, that is tomorrow and day after. So today we thought we will just discuss about those. Now many of us have a notion that it is either difficult to manufacture, difficult to produce that at home, or it is rather easier to get from supermarket because they are very cheap and you don't have to really bother much about what goes into it, because the quantity anyway that you're going to consume is less. But if you have keenly observed the consumption of these items in your house and considering the preservatives that these things have, you must be remembering the session on the labeling that we mentioned about. So the human body's consumption of these elements, even if it is in a small consumption also, given the sodium that is put there, given the sugar content and all, it is quite alarming. And our contention is, if you have to have something like this, why not have in abundance? Why to again restrict ourselves just because they are bought from outside, they are not good for health. So why not make them healthy at home and do away with the notion that it is difficult to make. It just takes a little bit of planning and a great amount of willingness to make it at home for the sake of our children end of the day. And when you have that, then you will know that how beneficial these things are for you. So we are going to discuss about how we can plan and to show that these things can actually be made at home. So let us dive into the most used condiments.
Tomato ketchup. Tomato ketchup, as we already saw in the section where we were showing the labeling of the packet that we get from outside, it has just 29% of tomato. But then when you can make it at home with 100% tomatoes, why not? And it's very simple, believe me, it's very simple, just that you have to organize yourself and plan well to make this. So it takes not more than 60 minutes to prepare tomato ketchup, including all the boiling time or cutting time, everything. And then if we take half kg of tomatoes, that will yield to 200 grams of ketchup. And this can easily last up to 10 days or 2 weeks. So again, that depends upon the amount of
consumption of the child.
The consumption of the child, and
it is just to give them an idea as to 500 grams of tomato is equivalent to 200 grams of tomato ketchup.
So accordingly, you can plan your cooking.
And the shelf life is very important. You can make it last for 2 weeks if you refrigerate it.
Yeah, and one more important thing, when we say shelf life, it's like you have to store it in the refrigerator, and when you are taking it out, just take it out in batches. If you have made it in large quantity, please store it in different containers so that you can take out separately, and that will increase the shelf life of the sauce. That applies to all the sauces and the condensed milk, whatever we are going to talk about here. The second thing is mayonnaise, which is used in each and everything. The kids like the taste of mayonnaise so much that they are available in so many flavors in the market. You have observed that, right? So, and it's tasty as well. They try to put in more and more chemicals in that to make it more tastier, because it's very famous among the children.
A brand war. If you see, if you go to a supermarket and just observe, especially a bigger supermarket, you will get a range of mayonnaise kept there, or range of sauces, pizza sauce or barbecue sauce, range of them. Nothing wrong with these manufacturers as such, but then what happens is you got to sell at as less price as possible, but it has to be tastier so that people come back to them again and again.
True. And when this can be made at home, yes, the shelf life is not as much as it is for the outside product, but then again you imagine what all goes into that to preserve it for that long, isn't it? So why not make it fresh at home? And it won't take you more than 15 minutes. Believe me. See, you have to there are few ingredients which you have to mix in together and it will be ready. But then again, the storing, you have to be very careful with that. And the shelf life is not more than 1 week.
See, I always tell this, Asmita, that there's always a trade-off. Always a trade-off in life. What is more convenient? What is cheaper? It comes with certain cost.
True.
The cheaper may be in price, but then you have to pay the price somewhere else.
True.
So similar to this thing is that, like, if you want to have a mayonnaise that will last for 1 year or 6 months, then probably you have to again go back to the one which is available in the supermarket. But just plan in such a way that you are going to give mayonnaise to the children for a week's time or 10 days time. And you can just plan it accordingly. I mean, you don't have to give mayonnaise every week, right? So 1 week if you make tomato ketchup, maybe next week you can make mayonnaise. For that week you can just give the stuff out of that. And then again, after 15 days you can repeat it if you want.
Yes.
You don't have to have it every single day. It's basically, as we said, it is changing the mindset. So when I decide that I need the mayonnaise now and it has to be available in the refrigerator, I got to better change my mindset there, because I have to plan if I have to have something, right? And yes, I mean, it's a trade-off. Yeah, it is little inconvenient to the modern fast life, but then when you consider the health that you are imparting to your children, then definitely it is worth it,
yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, very much. And as he said, if you plan accordingly and store it in the proper way, then it should be a very easy task. In the beginning, you may find it little cumbersome, time consuming, but then when you get used to it, you will start loving that, and you will feel good about yourself that you are doing it. Then third thing is condensed milk, which we use in all the milk based sweets or any other sweet that we prepare at home. So we can make this at home very easily with few steps. It takes not more than 30 minutes and the shelf life is again 1 week. So next thing is mustard sauce. Just like the ketchup and mayonnaise which we can use in wraps or in sandwiches, this sauce can also be used there, and it gives a different taste to the entire dish, right? This mustard sauce, it's made with yellow mustard, and yellow mustard is not available so easily, and it's a bit expensive. So there are chances that the sauces that we get outside, the mustard sauce, may contain some color, isn't it? Because the quantity of the yellow mustard that is required to make this sauce is more. So we can make it at regular intervals at home, and it will have 100% mustard, which is very good for our health.
See, mustard is supposed to have a lot of health benefits, and if it is used properly and authentic mustard is used, definitely you will be giving the health to the children. If you see in the most of the fast food chains, right, they use mustard sauce for hot dogs, for burgers and stuff like that in order to enhance the tastes further, right? So when it comes to only enhancing the taste, you know what all goes into it, right? So, but then it's a good thing that, the Westerners have invented something called as mustard sauce. We have always been eating mustard in various other forms, definitely. This mustard sauce is a very interesting thing, and we encourage you to use yellow mustard at home and make sauce out of it, and not only enhance the health but also the taste, and vice versa.
And the preparation time is just 30 minutes, that's the maximum time, and the shelf life is 4 weeks, and actually you can store it for longer than that, 4 weeks to 6 weeks. So the next thing is pizza sauce. Pizza sauce can be used, as the name says, for the pizza, also for the pasta, or for some gravies you can use. In our Indian gravies also you can use this masala, we can use it as masala. And if we make it at home, we can store it for more than 1 week or up to 2 weeks. So that it doesn't take more than 60 minutes to prepare, and it's very, very simple. One more thing I would like to add here: when we are making these sauces, do not compare the taste that we make at home with the taste that we get outside. That ought to be different.
You got to actually acquire the taste and develop the taste for whatever is made at home. First thing, you need to know that this is what is the best preferred way in order to go ahead in these difficult times especially. And once you acquire that taste, then it will not be difficult. Okay, so the next thing is vegetable stock. This is also an ubiquitous thing. It can be made as We know that most of the vegetarian families do not use of this. This is also a borrowed concept from West, you can say. They make use of the stock in various dishes, and if something is good, then why not borrow it, right? So there are two ways of making this vegetable stock. We will tell you the use of this vegetable stock in the coming slide. Let us first see how we can make it. So the first procedure is, you can take the fresh vegetables and you can slice them thin. You can take any vegetables like carrot, cauliflower, brinjal, mushroom, beans, various vegetables of your choice, and slice them. Then you add finely sliced cilantro. You can also, the best part of this is, you can add the stem of the cilantro if it is available, that is, or leek. Coriander leaves as well as coriander stem you can use. Spring onion, both you can use, stem and leaves. Onion, garlic. Once you chop them finely, you can mix tomato puree and oil into this. There is also a procedure of mixing miso paste, okay, and it is not generally available in India, so let us not bother to put it. Just use the tomato puree and the oil and mix it thoroughly. When you have the tomato or the cheese or the mushroom, you can also add this glutamate, which is naturally available in all these things and which is closer to the umami taste, what they talk about, right? So when you mix them all together, put them in a tray and put it in an oven for 30 to 40 minutes to roast them. You can also roast them on a simple Indian tawa if you want. Roast them nicely so that they are dark in color. Take them out and put it in a bigger bowl or something, and then add water to it, just enough water, maybe slightly more than the level of the vegetables, and boil it. Boil it for 40 to 50 minutes or even 60 minutes on a low sim, and allow the vegetables to leave the juices into the water, and water gets thicker, right? And once that happens, then you can just strain it and store that stock in the refrigerator for a longer duration. Okay, so this is procedure number one, and the procedure number two is even better. But then again, you got to plan for that. Like every day when you are preparing your sabzi, any other vegetable, you take out the peel, right? Including the tomato peel or the onion peel or carrot or anything. So preserve all these peels, put them in a Ziploc bag and then freeze them. Okay, so you will have to have maybe more than 500 grams or up to 1 kg of such peel, and if you cannot generate them in a day, then you can just keep on collecting for a period of time. Once you have that, then take them out of the freezer, put them in a container and then add water and then just boil it. You don't have to roast them in this, just boil them to make the stock, and you have to follow the same procedure. Maybe you can use this ginger, garlic paste. You can leave the ginger, just to use the garlic if you want, and tomato puree, and just try out different ways of making the stock. So end of the day, we are going to have only the stock. We don't want the solid part of it, just the liquid part, which is not very thin liquid. It is slightly thick. The viscosity is slightly more in it. When you have that, then you can use that for the gravies and for the soups. So unlike many people, all of us think that the children may not like soups. They do like, actually.
You can give soups at 4 o'clock or just before the dinner. They act as appetizers. So as he said, children actually love soups, and especially in the winter season, if they are served the hot soup, that's very not only good for health but also for their mind. So you can make vegetable soups with green peas, pumpkin, corn, tomato, sweet potato, beetroot and spinach. And the procedure is same for all. You can boil the vegetables or blanch wherever necessary. For example, for spinach, you can blanch and then allow them to cool and then grind and then sieve. Strain the paste that you have made, dilute it, boil it. Again, while boiling, add the stock that was prepared or that you had stored it in the refrigerator along with pepper, salt, soya sauce or cream to enhance its taste.
So let us now talk about some snacks for children. Again, we are not giving you a comprehensive list of what all to be prepared. Of course, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we are going to show you some recipes which will keep you going and also give you a pointer as to how we can think differently. Now, talking about the papad. Papad, when we think, we always think of something which has to be had as an accompaniment while having food, right? The main meals, that is. And these are generally available in the supermarkets. From the market, we get it either from, or maybe our mother or grandmother would have prepared and kept it at home, right? And generally these days we tend to buy from the market. There are so many good brands that you can get. So this is what comes to our mind. But then, did you know that the papad can also be instantly made? And even if you know that, we think that, why to take so much of trouble to make a papad, right? You just take it out of the shelf which is bought from the market and then roast it and give it to the children. No. If you really pay attention and then do it with love, it can be a great snack for the children, especially the evening snacks we are talking about. So here is one such recipe, instant papad. The ingredients are wheat flour, besan. We will give you the recipe at the end of this if you want. But otherwise also it is very easy to remember. Wheat flour, besan, ajwain, ginger garlic paste, turmeric powder, red chili powder, kasuri methi, salt and water, and pepper powder also you can mix. Just mix it and make a dough. It should be a stiff dough. It should not be a very thin one. And make just roll it like chapati or make thin creeps, and then you can directly deep fry it to get a crispy papad. You can garnish. Here comes the main thing. You just, if the children are used to liking just like that, it's fine. But then you can garnish it in such a way that they should know that there is something specially made for them. We all love to make children feel special, right? Only these are the ways to make them feel special also. At the same time, there's one more, healthy snack if you consider frying is okay. Otherwise, you can probably roast it. The taste will not be as good because it's an instant thing. But nevertheless, you can try it out.
So there are varieties of avlaki or poha as we call it that can be made instantly during the evenings and given to your children as snacks. Like we have these poha curry, bhel poha. Bhel poha is something which we came up with, and it's a different recipe, and you should try it out because that's liked by children. Then coconut oil poha, sweet poha. Sweet poha is with jaggery, of course. We do not try to avoid using sugar in any of the dishes that you make. Then the hachid avlaki, that's the specialty of North Karnataka. And there are more than maybe 20-25 avlaki recipes which
can be made, can be thought of.
Yes.
So here is a link. After this video also you can just click on the link and watch our video where we went live on Facebook to show our viewers 5 different varieties of avlaki what is mentioned here. It will just give you an idea as to what different variety you can think of avlaki. And these are essentially the cooking without fire recipes. You don't need the tawa, or you don't need fire at all to cook these. The last one is churmuri laddu. It's very, very simple. I remember when I was a child, my mother used to make this big churmuri laddu and give me, and then I used to just take it in hand and roam around the entire house eating that small bite. So younger the children, the more they are likely to enjoy this. Just make a jaggery syrup and mix, this puffed rice. What is that? Like puffed rice and murmura. You can just mix it with that syrup and then make laddu out of it and keep it. They last forever, basically, if not 4 weeks. I would say they will not even last for 1 week if they are made tasty, because people will just eat it and then finish it off. So these are only to give you some pointers as to how differently you can think. Maybe you can come up with your own recipes. We encourage you to put in the comment box today after watching this particular video as to what other recipes which are not available on the YouTube, or even if they are available, they are not made that commonly in the households. So come up with some innovative recipes for the sake of others also who are watching this, so that they can get benefited out of it. And we will definitely feature the recipes if we find them interesting and rare. and easy to make, and
Also, if it is traditional, then well and good.
traditional and excellent in health as well as taste. We definitely feature that. Okay, so here are some tips for the better planning.
So I'll just read these out. Make a list of snack items that you know. Make a calendar sort of thing with those items. Then rotate the snacks every fortnight or month, so that it's not repeated for 15 days. Take your children in confidence that they'll get the mentioned snack only on that particular day, whether it's made by you or bought from outside. So they would stick to that timetable or the calendar that you have prepared. Make a plan for cooking the snacks that take more time and also last for long. Keep the non-healthy stuff in an area difficult to reach for children and keep your healthy items accessible. We do not say that do not cut off your children totally from the non-healthy stuff. They need them once in a while, but then
more than need them, they want them.
They want them.
So let us not deprive them of their wants.
Yes. So, but then it's up to us how much to give it to them. So we can plan accordingly and keep them in places where they cannot find it easily. Then decide one day in a week or fortnight for some outside snacks to bring that discipline in children, so that they also have the healthy snacks along with the outside snack which they would like to have. And involve them while deciding their snacks, and if possible while cooking them too. That will make them more enthusiastic towards the whole process. They would feel that they are included in this.
So this particular slide we have just borrowed from one website. It is prepared by Christopher Villard. We found it very useful, so we thought of sharing that with you. And this essentially talks about the difference between the mindless eating and mindful eating.
So mindless eating, it's eating past full and ignoring your body signals. So our body keeps signaling that it's full, but still we keep on eating. And that is mindless eating.
And mindful eating entails listening to the body. You know, the best doctor for us is our body first and then the external doctor. So when you learn the art of listening to your body and stopping when it is full, that is when you are at mindful eating.
Eating when emotions tell us to eat, that is mindless eating. Because when we feel sad, bored, depressed, lonely, or we have nothing to do, we go for eating. That is mindless eating.
And talking about the hunger, like there are two types of hunger. One is the hunger that is out of mind generated, and then when we really ask our body, is it really hungry? It may not be. So you got to listen to your body when to eat.
Eating alone at random times and places, whenever you feel like there is no particular time for eating any kind of food. So that is mindless eating.
You know, some people do not like to eat alone at all because they think that the food will not go inside if they are not surrounded by the people or society. And that's the best way to do it actually.
Yes.
So develop an attitude. In fact, encourage the children to have it with the family members and not alone.
Yes. Eating foods that are emotionally comforting. Whenever we feel, as we said, whenever the emotions take over, we go for these fried foods, junk foods, chips that make us feel little better. So that is mindless eating.
And let us study about the food that are nutritionally healthy.
Then eating and multitasking. While having food, we are busy in either our mobiles or laptops or reading some storybooks. This applies to all of us, not only the children. So that is mindless eating because we are not there what we are doing 100%.
So mindful eating is while eating, just eat.
And considering a meal as just an end product, just a process just of having and filling your stomach.
And mindful eating is not only just filling the stomach, it is also to consider that what are we made of, where is the food coming from. So all those things are including definitely the people who are cooking the food. So when you inculcate this feeling in your children that you are the one who is preparing the food for the children, their emotional bond with you automatically grows immensely, and that is how the entire family bond can also be increased, enhanced. Okay. So this brings us to the end of this particular video, and we will jump into the next one. Tomorrow we will see many recipes that we have prepared for you.